Hi, everyone. Can you just let me see me? I'm having a little bit of freezing in the application. Hey, Laura. Thanks for confirming your name and where. Okay, so if you are on, go ahead and let us know where you are joining from and what your name is. I like to see how spread out we are all over the world, kind of get a sense of where you all are from. Refresh the Facebook and just see if we're streaming there yet. There's a little bit of a lag sometimes. All right, we're good to go. So it's 11 o'clock on the dot. Let's give it just a minute or two before we get started to allow folks to join. Laura, where are you joining from? I couldn't quite remember. I am, just for anyone who hasn't met me yet, I'm Amanda and I'm from San Diego, California. Los Angeles, we're close. Yes, Washington, Bree. Bree lives in the most beautiful area. I'm always so jealous of the pictures I see of that area. Such a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous part of the world. All right, so looks like we have Bree and Laura on. Let me know if there's anybody else so I know when to get started. And yesterday was interesting because I rewatched my live stream from yesterday and I saw all of these comments pop up when I was watching it on the Facebook that I did not see in the app that we're using to stream yesterday during the live stream. So if I don't see your comment, or if you feel like I'm not reacting to you at all, feel free to leave multiple comments. Hopefully I won't miss anything this time. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of talk about some things that came up after the live stream yesterday that I feel like we really need to reflect on. And if you didn't get to catch the live stream yesterday, we got a juicy transmission from the master's teachers and loved ones. They taught us how to recall our energy, how to cleanse and refresh it amongst all timelines, and how to call it all back to us, and how to really reclaim our power. We also sent love to all beings. So much juiciness happened. So go ahead and check it out if you didn't. And what I'm about to say today will make a little bit more sense. Hi, Renee from Atlanta. Renee is my middle name. I love that name. I think it's beautiful. And hi, Ariana. You actually have my husband's last name. Okay, lots of synchronicities already happening. So yesterday, one thing that came through for the group who joined yesterday, which happened to be a lot of previous AAA graduates like myself had joined yesterday, we were talking a lot about money and guilt and how, people shouldn't be feel guilty for charging for their time or their services, and also how, some of us have money blocks from the past. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't even tell them the best way about how they can work through some of this stuff. It was kind of just, we just didn't have enough time to really get into it. Hi, Nadine. So I wanted to share with you guys that Corinne actually has a book called Angel Wealth Magic. And it's an 11-day ritual that you go through, and it's really quick. You can do it in like 10 to 15 minutes in the morning. And she even sometimes once a year will do like a live class that you can join to go through that program. But it's really cool and it really helps you remove a lot of money blocks that you might have and help you to attract wealth and abundance. So super cheap. I think it's like $13 is what I got it for on Amazon. So if any of that message from yesterday does resonate with you, then I suggest that that is a really cool thing that can really help you out. Um, and another thing that kind of came up was my journey of getting to become an Akashic Records practitioner. So I was telling you all yesterday that, I kind of stumbled upon it on accident. I was looking for something that could really, hey, Carolyn. Oh, awesome. Ariana, you read the book? Yes, it's great. Yep, you can check it out at the library too. Awesome, great tips in the chat. I think a lot of people have tried it before. So if you have and it worked for you, go ahead and leave a comment. Definitely worked for me. I've actually used it twice already because sometimes I need to remind myself, need to do a little cleanup. So it's not something that you only can do once in your life. You can do it whenever you need it. Really cool beings that you work with too that really want to help us be abundant. But yesterday, in case you didn't see the live stream yesterday, I'll give a little bit of background. Um, I basically was in Barnes and Noble, like having kind of like a spiritual meltdown where I'm like, I need something. I just don't know like what I need. So I go in there and I'm kind of looking at the spiritual bookstore and or the book section, and this book kind of just falls off the shelf, right? And so I pick it up and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, but I've never heard of the Akashic Records, and it's called How to Read the Akashic Records by Linda Howe. She's got I have like every book of hers, but I haven't read them yet. But the first time I picked it up, I had just learned to meditate. Like I think I had tried for like 18 days in a row to meditate and I couldn't feel a connection. And it was probably like my third or fourth day where I actually felt like, okay, I'm seeing something like colors and I'm getting like I feel connected, right? So this book falls off the shelf. I end up buying it. I'm like, that could be a sign, right? Um, and so, sorry guys, I get really hot and my nose starts sweating when I'm in the records. Um, but I'm like, what are these Akashic Records things? So I start reading it and I got freaked out because I'm like, there is no way I'm ready for this because I really thought after doing some Google searches that my I wasn't spiritually advanced enough to do this because I had always heard that there is like, this big cosmic library. You actually travel there, like you leave your body and you travel there and you go there and you check out books about your life and you can talk to this librarian and he'll go get it for you. That's kind of the impression that I got from the internet, right? Um, so I didn't think that that was something that I would be able to handle by myself. But then I started to get all of these Facebook ads and Instagram ads about taking Akashic Records courses and learning how to read them. So I didn't have enough faith in myself, so I decided to pay lots and lots of money to go ahead and take those courses. And in the process, to become certified for the program, you actually have to do a lot of free sessions. So the first class that I took was on how to read the Akashic Records, and I had to offer 25 free readings to random people on Facebook that follow the teacher. And she's got thousands and thousands and thousands of people that follow her. So whenever somebody says, hey, I'm in this program and I'm trying to get my certification, you'll usually get hundreds of comments and you have to pick through 25 of them. And then when I took the second course, which was the healing course, I had to do that again. So I got 50 free sessions. I did 50 free sessions that were sometimes supposed to be a half an hour, sometimes were supposed to be an hour, and often they went over. And because they were free sessions, what I was finding is that people were no showing a lot, or they would cancel at the last minute and then be upset when I couldn't do the time that worked for them afterwards. A lot of people would write to me afterwards for months and try to get more information without booking an appointment, and just all this kind of stuff happened during that time. And then when you start charging, even if it's 20, 30, 40, $50 or whatever you start with, all of that kind of went away. Like it was like, okay, like because people are actually putting their money into my services, then I feel like they take it more seriously. They're going to make their appointment because they spent money on it. Or they're going to, do the prep that I asked them to do. They're going to have questions ready. We're going to use that hour to its capacity, and we're going to get them everything they need to know, all the healing and they need for right now. And so that's another thing that came up after talking about the guilt with the money about charging for your services. So just wanted to build off of that from yesterday and share the Angel Wealth Magic book with you because it's super cool, and show you a very cheap way that you can learn how to read the Akashic Records yourself without having to spend thousands of dollars. Also, if you're interested in learning how to read them as well, one of our other AAA graduates, Amber Meyer, is actually going to be doing a Love Fest session on Tuesday, the 15th at 1 p.m. And she actually teaches how to read the Akashic Records. And that's not something I'm really interested in doing at this time. I like to do the healings. So if you want to learn, I'd recommend like really checking out that session. All right, let me do a time check and just check into the chat. All right, let's see. Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much. That was sweet of you. Ariana got the ancestors and the same last name as my husband, so that's interesting. All right, and Carolyn. Hello, beautiful. Carolyn is such a sweetheart. Nadine, you have the book, have some issues. Okay. And you were dreaming of the huge library. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that for some people who may be a little bit more clairvoyant than I am, I'm very clairsentience where I feel energy and vibrations, and then I interpret that into information, or sometimes I just start talking and words will come out. Before I can even like process what I'm saying, right? And so yesterday I had to go back and watch to even see what came up because there was bits and pieces I didn't like. What did I just say right now afterwards? So, yeah, it's different for everyone. But I do have a friend who said that it is like that for her, where she does go into a library. So you may be being called, Ariana, to learn this type of work. So for those of you who don't know what the Akashic Records are, they're basically like another energy field that contains all of the information from the very first second that our soul was created. It records all of our deeds, our actions, our thoughts. Can't hide from the Akashic Records like you can hide from people. They record everything. And then also, not only people have Akashic Records, but they're places, things, like houses. You can ask the owner of the house if you have permission to open the Akashic Records of the house, and you can see what type of history it has, or if there's any energy that needs to be cleared out of a house. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Sue. And so basically, your pets, you can ask your pets, hey, can I open your Akashic Records? And if they're okay with it, sometimes they'll cuddle up with you. And if they're not okay with it, they'll take off down the hall. Like, don't you dare get in my records. I'm private. Lots of times cats like to be private. Where dogs are like, yeah, learn anything about me. I don't care. So there's lots of things you could do with it, not just people. But some of the stuff that having an Akashic record can actually help with. And I go back to just my notes here for just a second because I've been making lists as things come up of all the cool stuff that happens with my clients. So I've done, I want to say at least like hundreds of past life regressions. Past life trauma can really carry over into this life. And sometimes it's just as simple as just talking to that previous version of ourselves and saying, hey, I'm the future version of you. I'm okay. I'm not stuck in that war. I'm not, being burned at the stake. I'm not having this horrible traumatic thing that you're stuck in. Come with me. Let's go to the light. Let's just, release all this anger and fear and, anything that may come up from a past life. And we can really work to release that. And it can all of a sudden create this huge shift in you where, I had one client who had a bad pain in her shoulder for a really long time. And we found out it was actually coming from an injury from a previous life. And we were able to release that pain for her. Another thing that we can do is we can do ancestral healing. So a lot of our ancestors have trauma that gets carried through us through our DNA. Our ancestors have been through it, guys, like through the ringer. Like we have it so easy now. So there's some stuff that they need our help with our cushy lives, having, our basic survival needs met, right? We do chakra balancing and healing, balancing of all of the bodies. So the spiritual body, emotional body, the inner child comes up a ton. Um, and they actually want me to talk about that. Sorry, hold on. I'm just writing this down so I don't forget for later. But we don't realize, like, I have children, and I don't know about you guys, but like everybody comes to me with inner child issues stemming from their family. It's like everyone. There's no one that I have met who does not have some sort of something from their family when it comes to their inner child. So it actually has completely changed my parenting style since I've known that. I'm really trying to raise a child who doesn't have inner child issues when he's an adult. um, and other things that we can do are entity and dark force removals. Again, not my favorite, but I can and will do them if needed. If you ever need help with something like that, it's best to just not let me know first, and then I'll figure it out when we get in there that that's what needs to happen. Because otherwise, I obsess too much, and it's so easy to remove them, but for some reason, I just obsess so much about it first. Um, and we can also remove any contracts, oath, vows, and agreements that you have made in previous lives that are impacting your life today. So if you were a nun in a past life who took a vow of chastity and now you can't find a man or a partner, or your sex life just isn't working out, like you would be surprised about the stuff that comes up once we get in the Akashic records. So yes, Carolyn, so much inner child work. That's the one thing that's like really hard for me too, is because I really want to believe that I am over all the trauma from my past. But when it comes back up, I'm like, inner child, you need me to reassure you again. Like, we're safe, girlfriend. Like, it's all good. But she keeps coming back up in little different ways. So, all right. So, time check, it's about 11:15. Hey, Jane. Hey, Sue. Glad that hits for you. I'm gonna just do a very quick. They're telling me reading today. Yesterday, you got to see an example of a healing. So sometimes I go into the records, and once I open your individual record, all of a sudden your guides will be like, "Hey, we need to heal something," or "This is something that they need to know." Other times it'll just be like, "Okay, what questions do you have?" And I'll check in with your guides and I'll ask them. And then sometimes you'll say, "Hey, I want to know the purpose of my life," right? And the guides are like, I want you to figure that out on your own. So we're going to talk about this today. So never really know. Um, but basically this morning, I was getting all of these messages before I even opened the records. And I just thought it was like, myself just kind of thinking about stuff that's going on around me. And then as soon as I opened my records and the group records of the session today, it was like, nope, we're going to talk about this. So what I'm feeling is a lot of like witch energy in here. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. I don't think witches are bad. I think what I'm feeling is like there's a lot of people in here who have had past experiences being some sort of mystic, psychic, witch, herbalist. I'm hearing like really working with the earth in previous lives. And that was not the norm at the time that they did that. So whenever things aren't the norm in some of these eras in our history, then the people, right, would be against you and be violent and do very bad things to you, right? So one thing that they're telling me is that this group could really benefit from working on is clearing the persecution imprint. Um, I've only heard one person talk about that before because they cleared it on me. It was years ago. But the story that they're asking me to tell you is one that you all might relate to that happened to me. So as a child, I used to have dreams of being in a dungeon with my grandma, but it wasn't my grandma. Like I just knew it was my grandma, but we were the same age. We didn't look like we do now. And we were like chained up and we were talking about how we knew we were going to die. And I had that dream over and over and over again. And I asked her about it when I was younger. And she was like, oh, honey, like we were probably witches or something. Right. And so I asked, like, what was this dream that I was having? And that's exactly what it was. Like we were accused of being witches. We knew we were going to be executed. I didn't get any information on how that actually happened, but I was terrified while I was waiting waiting. And it impacted my life today because for years I had like a whole separate Facebook page where I never talked about my spirituality. I really wanted to keep that separate from my family, even, and not let them, kind of dictate what I was doing or have anything negative to say because I was feeling so good about it. Um, but in this past life, too, someone who is my aunt in this life is the person who turned us in for being witches, right? And so it's interesting because the way that it plays out now is that she still kind of persecutes me a little bit. Love her to death. She's one of my favorite aunts, one of the sweetest people I know. But she's very, very Christian, and nothing against Christianity. I love Jesus. I love them all. Love them all. Um, but some churches are very um, they try to dominate the way you think and act. And when you question them and it's not what they teach and how they act, then, you're kind of an outsider. So I was in church one time and I was like 5 or 6 years old, and the preacher was talking about how we go to hell if we don't obey God. And I'm like, there's no hell. What are you talking about? Like, God would never do that to us. Like, I know God. I'm like, God loves me. He would never betray me like that and put me in a fiery pit of hell, right? Like, for making a mistake, for liking a guy, like, come on, like, that's crazy. And so my family was really mad about that and embarrassed about it too. Like, why would you say that in church? Like, that's an abomination. And like, so it's just that kind of stuff, like little things. And then, now today, everybody knows what I'm doing. I got rid of that persecution imprint. I said, I don't care. This is who I am. And I still kind of freak out a little bit before I make a Facebook page on my personal page because I know my aunt's going to see it. I know she's going to pray to God that I cannot do this and that I will fail, which she does. And she's admitted to me that she does. Um, and so it's just like, it is what it is, though. Like, let her think that this is bad. Like, it's so crazy to me. Like, I literally work with angels. They're in every religious text. Like, you know, and so what's coming up from this situation is that I don't have time to clear that persecution. And it takes quite a while to get through it because we have to go back and try to find your past life to where that happened, and then like talk to that version of yourself and like work it out and make sure we can release it. So I can't really do that for you guys today, but one thing that you can do to help with your karma and with your situation of these feelings of, being afraid to be seen and to be your authentic self when it comes to your spirituality, um, is a term that they gave me, which I've never heard before, called spiritual hypocrisy. So, what they're telling me is that a lot of us do not like when spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs there is in particular are pushed onto us. Um, we don't like it when certain religions are like, we're the right one, we're the only one, the rest are wrong, none of you can have any differing beliefs. And then we become spiritual, right? And we tend to do those same types of things. So we become spiritual and we're like, that person is of the dark and I am of the light. I will only associate with people of the light. And if you are not of the light, then you ain't for me, right? Or if you're a Christian, you're not for me. If you're a Buddhist, you're not for me. Like whatever you have your judgment about, whatever hurt you. Now you're judging it and those people, and you're being a spiritual hypocrite, right? So it's been hard for me to not do that, because you see results and you see things, you see your life going better, right? And even with my children, I have a 21-year-old daughter who has a whole different experience of being parented by me, and I have a 10-year-old son who has a totally different one because I've evolved, right, since 10 years in between having them. So with my daughter, I really tried to control a lot of what she did and how she dressed and how she acted, and I really was what do you call it, programming her based on the way that I was programmed, right? And she's such a unique, just beautiful soul. And I just wonder how it would have been different if I would have just let her be herself, and let her, completely, like, now she's like an atheist and it's okay with me. I'm like, okay, that's you. Like, you'll figure it out. Like, you're only 21. Like, you want to be an atheist. That's fine. Like, It's okay. I'm still going to send you love, right? And let you do your atheist stuff. My son, on the other hand, I have learned to let him be his true authentic self and let him have his own beliefs. And when he asks me questions about things, I say, well, in my opinion, or this is what I believe. But, whatever you believe is fine. Like, I want you to hear things and I want you to see if it's true for you. Right. And we need to do that with ourselves too, where we have discernment about the information that we're getting, about the spiritual mentors that we're following. Like, I might say something that does not resonate with you and you feel like it's complete bullshit, and that's fine. Live your truth, accept your truth, and that's all you need to do. So I'm going to check in the comments. I see a lot of people commenting. So I think that this kind of resonates a little bit with some of you. So yes. Yes, Carrie, past lives is can be really interesting. Ariana, I resonate with the witch mystic thing. Yes. Persecution imprint. Yeah, there are people who teach how to get rid of the persecution imprint. It, like I said, I would need an hour with you if you think that that's something that you need help resolving. Tortured by nuns. I've seen a lot of that as well. Let's see, Carolyn, fear I have, yep, of wonky religious beliefs to the extreme. Yes, God doesn't want us to be tortured for anything. Yes, scared about telling my friends and families and strangers and promoting my sessions on Facebook. 11 years between my between my middle kid and last. Yep, same formula, Shonda. It's such a different experience. All right. So we're about halfway through. I have so much more to say from the master's teachers and loved ones, but I want to give people time to get card readings. So go ahead and start commenting if you want a card. I'm going to close out and thank all of our folks who gave us info today. Thank you, master's teachers and loved ones, for letting us be aware of our persecution imprint in this group that has joined today, and to remind us all not to be a spiritual hypocrite. Once we decide that we have found the answers that work for us, let us work to not push those on others, but to allow them to believe what they want, hear what we have to say, and make discernment for what is their truth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is. All right. If anyone would like to see about my services or would like to have an individual Akashic Record reading where we can really get deep and heal some of your past life trauma or even current life trauma, find out, any answers to questions that you have from your guides, my website is showing up on the screen, and it's angelsalliesанdancestors.com. So just like you were saying, Ariana, the ancestors coming up a lot. They've been coming up a lot for me too, and they're powerful resources, but we need to learn how to work with the healed ancestors of the highest light and let go of some of the baggage from the unhealed ancestors that kind of like to hang out with us and kind of work their problems out through us. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead, it's on the screen. And for the next about 25 minutes, just so I can give the next person up time to set up, we will be doing card readings. I'm going to request that you guys multi-comment if needed, because again, when I rewatched yesterday, I wasn't seeing all the comments and I missed some folks. So if you would like a card and I don't call on you, please comment again so I can try to catch you, okay? So today we have some interesting folks that want to play with us. So I checked in with this before we started today, and I have another mega deck today, but it's a little bit smaller than yesterday, but this is the Divine Masters. So when I say masters, teachers, and loved ones, there's so many folks that come through: Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Kuan Yin. I mean, so many. Metatron used to have a life and then ascended and became an archangel. Sandalphon, same way. So the masters are usually intergalactic support, Egyptian support, angel support, or others who have already lived on the earth and ascended. to become what is classified as a master. So that's this deck. And then I'm just adding in a little tiny deck that's brand new from Kyle Gray called the 22 Archangels. So I was guided today to pull cards about who wants to work with you and why, or a message from your heart and your higher self. So if we pull a master or an archangel, it's because they want to work with you. If we pull some other sort of message, then that's a message from your heart. And I casino shuffle, so give me just a second. My mom, funny story, used to work at a legal casino that my grandfather owned when she was younger and taught me how to casino shuffle. Papa was a gangsta. All right, so first up, Melissa Alvit. I would love a reading, please. Okay. All right, angels. What does Melissa need to know today? Who wants to work with her? Ooh, I love Shemuel. So Melissa, Shemuel wants to work with you. This angel is very beneficial for working out relationship issues. This can be relationship with a partner, work, a friend, just a mother, any kind of relationship role that we play. Shemuel can really help with that. So the message on the card says, no one crosses your path by chance. Choose to see the deeper reasons for the people in your life. So I feel like there is somebody who's very challenging to you at this time, and it's someone you can't avoid. So whether that's a coworker or a family member, but they're very challenging to you, and it can be frustrating. You're trying to figure out, like, how do I keep the peace? How do I balance, this relationship? And this is something that is a lesson for you. So your lesson is really learning how to either continue to deal with this individual in the most loving way possible while also protecting your energy, or the lesson is going to be, I've had enough and I'm going to walk away. So what they're telling me is, no matter what the relationship is, whether it is a parental relationship, child relationship, family, spouse, we are not obligated to remain in contact with anyone just based on blood relation, or based on societal. I can't ever say that word. Hold on. Societal. Some, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like what the society demands of us. You can't. Do that to yourself. Like, you come first. So don't worry if you're supposed to maintain that relationship. Try to do it with love if you can, and protect yourself from their abuse or negativity. But you do not have to remain there. So I hope that helps. But call in Shamwell if you need help with it. I've had some coworkers in the past who were, being kind of snotty, and I prayed to Shamwell and Raguel to help with the relationship and send them love, and everything worked out great, like within 2 days. So, all right, let's see. Renee Warren. Okay, I'm going to shuffle one more time for Renee, who shares my middle name. Okay, who wants to work with Renee? Oh, I love this one. So you got Sabdet. And this is cosmic power, unlimited potential, and a sacred mission initiation. So Renee, I'm not sure how long you've been on the spiritual path, but it looks like to me there's going to be something opening within your crown chakra that's going to be helping with your spiritual connection. And you're going to be able to connect with more galactic beings and even more higher realms. So be on the lookout for anyone trying to communicate with you. They're showing me that they provide a buzzing sensation in your crown when they're trying to connect. And it's interesting because the card it has this star that's kind of brightly shining, but to me, like, I could see where the vibration might be showing in the illustration as well. So reach out to your cosmic guides. They're here to support you. Do any work on your crown chakra that's needed, whether you need to open it, clear it, or just work with it in general. There's a lot of different crystals that you can use to help on the crown chakra as well. One that just caught my eye, actually, is candle quartz or clear quartz or anything that can just really clear that energy out. So hope that helps. All right. Hi, Diane. Diane was our mentor for the Golden Eagle Clan, and she's just an amazing soul. I love you, Diane, with my whole heart. Okay, Sue, Kylo, you are up next. Who would like to work with Sue? Oh, I don't really know this one. This is one of the archangels. Sarah, feel heart of devotion. Let the cup of your heart be filled through commitment and dedication. So I just want to see, just because I've never heard of this one before. Let's read from the book and see who this beautiful, kind of androgynous looking angel is. So, okay. The seraphim is where this archangel is from. The seraphim are the highest order of angels who surround the throne of God with song and devotion. The seraphim Seraphiel, although not typically seen as an archangel, works closely with the archangels to bring healing and light to the earth. The name means princess of the high angelic order, and Seraphiel is said to be the angel who holds the highest rank in heaven, the one who protects, governs, and guides all the archangels, and who reminds us of how we can be sustained and sustained others through our deep connection with God. So it says if you're getting this card, devotion is one of the highest angelic qualities. Angels are completely devoted to the source of creation, constantly singing praises to the energy that created them and the world. In order to experience other energies, it is important to match their vibration. Then you will attract them and their miracles. At this time, you are being encouraged to devote yourself wholly and fully to the service-based mission that you are feeling called to fulfill. That will draw angels to you. You are also being encouraged to find the joy in your calling. If you find yourself stressed, frustrated, sick, tune back into why you do what you do. There's more, but that helped me to kind of figure out what this card may mean for you. So just checking in. So I don't know if you've been thinking about taking a spiritual class of some sort, of doing a spiritual business, or even making your own class of some kind. It sounds like you are really being encouraged to devote yourself to that energy. You're being called on as a light worker. There's so many of us needed right now. So if you've been thinking about it, devote yourself to it. You're being called. And if you need any help, you can call on Seraphiel from the Seraphim. Pretty cool that the highest order of the angels wants to work with you. Congrats, Sue. And go ahead and leave comments if you are feeling your reading or not feeling it. Let me know if it resonates, please. All right, next up is Jean. All right, who wants to work with Jean today? Ooh, Serapis Bay. He's so sexy to me. He got some sexy Serapis Bay energy going on. So Perigium shift, activation to grow, make the necessary change. Very powerful being to work with when you're going through transitions. It's time. If you've been thinking about making a certain change, this is your sign. It's time to do it. If you need help, call in Serapis Bay. Man of little words, but strong vibrations. I'm feeling love go through your entire body right now. If you accept this energy and you want to work with him, just say yes. All right. Leighton, Sarah. This card is for Leighton, Sarah. Okay. Who wants to work with Leighton, Sarah today? Oh, cool stuff. I'm going to butcher this. Mahavatar Babaji, an Indian spiritual master who can help. I have lots of Hindu stuff in my office. I think it's such a cool energy that comes through when we get to work with any of those energies. So this is spiritual awakening, inner connectedness, and understanding the inner workings. So everything is connected. Everything is for a reason. Coincidences are not coincidences, they are signs. You are ready for your spiritual awakening. It's coming. It's not going to be exactly as fireworks and flashy lights as you want it to be at first. It's going to be subtle. And that's one thing that they want you to know. You're going to make gradual steps, and then all of a sudden you'll look back and be like, I cannot believe how much I've done in X amount of time. So really cool. They really want you to start looking at how everything is connected. So not only humans, but the energy of the land, the energy of the wind and the sky and the animals, and how, we're all one and we're all have a spark of the divine in us that makes us all connected. So start looking at that. They're also telling me that the flower of life would be a great sacred geometry symbol for you to work with in order to understand the interconnectedness of all things, and really start understanding your inner workings. What makes you tick? Why do you get mad at certain things? Like when you feel anger or fear come up, really deep dive into that, and get inside of understanding the inner workings of yourself. I hope that resonates. Okay, Laura Marie, AAA grad. All right, Laura Marie, who wants to work with you? Ooh, hope. Oh, Laura, this feels heavy to me. Oh, you guys are going to make me emotional 2 days in a row. Not fair. So Hope says authentic reclamation. It's time to call back all lost parts of ourselves. So if you didn't get to join yesterday, Laura Marie, check out the replay. We do a whole healing on clearing out our energy and reclaiming back all the lost parts of ourselves. I feel like the reason I got a little bit emotional is because this is tied to somebody very close to you, where you are doing everything you can to keep the hope, and it's getting a little thin right now. I feel like you've taken things into your own hands. You've really done a lot of research. You've been like almost to the point where you could make a business out of this, trying to help this person. And your hope's getting a little bit thin. But they're saying keep going, strive. It's all meant for everyone's highest and greatest good involved. And it'll all make sense one day. But you are being surrounded by angels. I actually just picked up on my sign for Archangel Raphael coming in, offering you and your loved ones healing on the physical level, emotional level, and spiritual level. So keep the hope, girl. Sending you love. Okay. Gosh, all these emotions, these icky emotions. Okay, Kathy Luskin. Okay, who wants to work with Kathy? Ooh, Kathy, you got Bridget. That's some fire goddess, feisty energy. I love her. It says inner fire. Let your passion lead you to your purpose. And for some reason, when I see certain words on the cards, they'll like pop out on me a little bit. And passion is what popped out. So really wanting you to take something that you are passionate about, that you enjoy, that it does not feel like work to you. Doesn't feel like a job, doesn't feel boring, or too structured or too political. Take that and see, how can I expand that everywhere within my life? How can I make a living from that? How can I incorporate that into, the things that I do every day? Like, if your passion is to be a florist, for example, and make, beautiful floral arrangements, what can you do to get good at that craft? And what can you do to make it into something that you make a living off of, for example? I'm also just seeing in this card that there's little pictures from all of the directions and from all of the seasons, and see how they kind of feeding into that heart. So we want to incorporate that into every aspect of our life, surround ourselves with it, and let our passion be our purpose. I just heard, ooh, I gotta write that. That's a good slogan. Let your passion be your purpose. The masters, teachers, and loved ones have some good one-liners, let me tell you. Okay, where did I leave off? Nadine. This card is for Nadine. And it looks like Nadine's joining from YouTube right now. Who wants to work with Nadine? Gabrielle. I love Gabrielle. And I love that Kyle Gray shows Gabrielle in the way that I feel her. Because, in the Bible, me and my aunt got into this about it too. Gabriel is a man. And it's always been depicted that way. And that was who, told Mary that she would be pregnant with Jesus and all that, or maybe it was Joseph, I can't remember. But it says it's time to be seen. Don't be afraid of your power and your gifts. So you might be feeling like you've got some intuitive hits. You might be kind of like, whoa, where did that come from? How did I know that? Starting to see multiple angel numbers like 111, 333, 555, etc. Anything to try to get your attention, to let you know that you are going through a time of divine emergence, and don't be afraid to be seen. I'm also hearing that you're one of the energies that I picked up on that could really use that persecution imprint clearing. So maybe look into that a little bit, and see if you can find any self-guided meditations to help you with that. And if you need some additional help, contact me and let me know. But Gabriel is here to help you communicate as your true, authentic self, which is so hard to do, for different roles that we play in life. Like I can't be 100% authentically myself while I'm at my corporate job, right? But just communicate as your true, authentic self as much as possible, and you're going to start to see some shifts in your life and some opportunities coming up. So it's time to be seen. Don't be afraid of that power. Don't be afraid of those gifts. And any of you really who are interested in exploring your own intuitions or gifts, or connecting with your angels in a deeper way, even if you don't want to do this for a living, or even if you don't want to heal people, I would really, really, really recommend the Angel Alchemy Academy. We've had people from all levels of spiritual development, some who knew absolutely nothing about spirituality. It was their very first time, to people who had been practitioners for over 20 years who learned a lot from that class. So if you're interested, I would just follow Corinne's page, and then you'll be able to see if she offers the course again and when. But really life-changing. I really recommend it. I'm now drawing a card from Melissa. Did I already draw you, Melissa? Hold on, let me check in the chat. I might be getting to the multiple. Hold on, let's see, Melissa. Okay, if I'm reading you again, I am sorry to everyone else. Maybe I just saw your comments earlier. Who wants to work with Melissa? Ooh, Ishtar. Inner learnings. Follow your heart. Truth prevails. So lots of messages coming up about, communicating, being our true authentic self, speaking our truth. Truth does prevail. There was a situation in my life earlier, a couple months ago, where there was like a big secret that needed to come out, and I asked to work on my shadow. The secret came out, and it was a whole lot of drama for a little bit, but now everything just feels like I just feel amazing that it's off my chest, that everybody knows, like it was an old secret, and that I forgot about, and I pushed back to the cobwebs. But sometimes, just being truthful, even when it hurts, even when it's going to make us look like the bad guy, even when, we have to say something we did that wasn't favorable to others. We're human. We make mistakes. Fess up, get it out. And if you are thinking that someone is lying to you, they're telling me, ask them. Ask them to be truthful. Truth always comes out. What happens in the dark always comes to light. So be looking out for any of those situations. And you can call on Ishtar to bring clarity to your investigation and discovery into what needs to be revealed and what to others and what needs to be revealed to you. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. I messed up my place. Continue to comment if you want to read it and I haven't gotten to you yet. Diana Cook. This one will be for you. And time check, we have probably 5 more minutes before, let's see. Oh, I see one of my good friends, Lisa, in the chat. Hey, girlfriend, I miss you. Okay. What does Diana Cook, who wants to work with her? Okay. Jesus wants to work with you. Oh, we got the Christ consciousness up in here. So Jesus is calling on you, saying that he wants to work with you on acts of service. When you serve others, the universe serves you. So what I have found, because I always want to make sure I don't sound like I'm a Christian hater too much, because I'm not. It's just, my own shit, right? Jesus is so awesome, like so different from what some of the followers make him out to be. He's pure love, pure light. Connecting with him can be super overwhelming to our physical bodies because he's so magnificent and powerful. But it looks like, he is the guy that preaches about the acts of service and helping our fellow man. So I don't know if you're doing some charity work or if that's something that you've been interested in, but connect with Jesus and see how you can help. Maybe you're a light worker. Maybe you can help by doing some of the stuff that is taught in the Angel Alchemy Academy, or even your own special power that you have. Like a lot of people I know have very healing energy and become Reiki practitioners. There's all different sorts of ways that you can serve, even just by sending love. So look into that. Hope that helps you out. Okay. Lisa, you are next, actually. So I must be caught up. Lisa is the coolest. We met at Mount Shasta and we just instantly became like Shasta besties. And I just love her. Who wants to work with Lisa today? Ooh, I have never seen this one before. But it says, Ma'at, divine intervention. Weigh up your options and choose the highest good. So, Lisa, I'm kind of feeling like you have a decision where you could go either way. And your heart is being pulled towards one way, but maybe your practical nature and your ego is being pulled another way. Really want you to sit with this energy. And she's saying to call on her to help you weigh your options before you make a move. So, not sure if that means anything to you, but if there's something that you've kind of been going back and forth about, maybe look into that a little bit more and call on Ma. And since I have your phone number, I'm going to take a picture of the reading from the book and I'll text it to you later. Okay. I usually do that for my clients too. Is I tell them what I get when we're doing the reading, and then afterwards I'll take a picture of all of the pages out of the book so that they can read a little bit more in depth and see if there were any messages that they may have supposed to have gotten but didn't quite come through me. So, okay. Let's see. Reading. Sophia. Sophia, who wants to work with Sophia today? Faith. Faith is so beautiful. And this is the Archangel Faith. Moving mountains. Trust in your ability to create miracles. The impossible is becoming possible. All right, Sophia, I don't know if there's a situation where you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed with and you're not quite sure if it's going to work out, or anything that just seems like really difficult at this time. but I'm just getting that faith is working with you. She also works with Archangel Michael a lot, and some people even say that they're kind of got a thing together, the little twin flames or whatever. But trust in your ability to create miracles. Get rid of that mindset that what you want to accomplish is impossible. It is possible. Anything is possible that you put your mind and your heart into. But she's recommending that in order to see a little bit better results is when you're thinking about the situation that she says you know in your heart is there. When you're thinking about that, think about it in a different way, in a higher light. So instead of thinking like, oh, I'm never going to get through this, or this is going to be impossible to do, try to reframe that type of thinking and flip it around. So I call it clear, cancel, release. When those negative thoughts come in, like I acknowledge them, I clear them, I cancel them, like, nope, not doing that. We're not manifesting that. And then release it, let it go. And then I replace it with something positive. So, I really want to buy a house, but I live in San Diego and it seems impossible. And anytime that thought comes into my head, I'm like, nope, I am financially abundant. I am receiving money from the universe. It will happen. I will get this house and it will happen in divine timing. And then recommending that when you do replace it with the positive thought, that you also feel into the emotion of what the outcome you desire will be. So let's say in my scenario, I get the house. So when I think about the house, I think about how happy and comfortable and safe I am and how I feel like no one can kick me out because I'm running their house. Like this is mine, and I picture all that positive stuff. That'll amplify the positive outcome in this situation. Hope that hope that resonates. Okay, so we have another AAA grad coming up next at 12 o'clock. I need to check out so I can let them get set up for you all. I hope you stay on to work with them. Lisa, I'm going to send you your book reading messages. And again, I would love to meet with you guys. If any of this resonated with you today, or, if you're one of my peoples, like I said, the intention would join this call today. Thank you, Bree, for the suggestion. Go ahead and hit me up on my website, and I will type in the chat for easier access to get to that, and also give you my email address in case you're not the type to really book through websites. Such a pleasure being with you here. Happy Love Fest. I'm so excited to watch the rest of the streams today and support all my AAA grads. And do me a favor, if you are a AAA grad, go ahead and post in the comments your website, what you offer, anything that would help support your business. The master's teachers and loved ones are telling me that the light workers are so needed in the next couple months. Reach out to any of us. You can go on Corinne's page, CorinneGrillo.com. And you can also connect with a previous graduate of the AAA for a discounted rate right now. So check that out. I'll put all of that in the chat. I wish you all a blessed day. Love, 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 so much love. A Care Bear staring love out my heart to you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all. Oh, you are loved too, Bree. All right, keep the websites coming, AAA friends. I'm going to sign off now.